Up next on Laura Mackenzie's Traveler, we're off to discover one of the oldest countries in the world.
We are in Armenia.
We'll explore Armenia's amazing capital.
I had no idea Yerevan was going to be this beautiful.
And make some surprising discoveries.
It's so modern.
Who knew there was amazing shopping in Armenia? Then we'll take the longest gondola in the world to the monastery of Tatev.
That was one of the most amazing tram rides I have ever taken. And if you thought that was great, wait till you see what's next.
The Temple of Garni, a Hellenistic pagan temple built in the 1st century. Don't miss Armenia.
If you think Republic Square is beautiful in the daytime, just look at it at night. And it all starts right now. We are in a country on the edge of Eastern Europe, and it's one of the most beautiful that I've seen. Hi, I'm Laura Mackenzie, and we are in Armenia. I am so excited. I'm going to show you the capital of Yerevan. I'm going to take you to a cathedral that's almost 2,000 years old. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to show it to you.
Our fatherland, free, independent, that has for centuries lived, is now summoning its sons to the free, independent Armenia. The powerful opening lines of the Armenian national anthem speak volumes of the small republic that embodies one of the oldest cultures and countries in the world. An incredible 3,500 years of recorded history chronicle Armenia as a great power just before the 1st century AD, becoming one of the oldest, strongest, and most culturally advanced civilizations in the known world, whose borders stretched from the Caspian Sea to the Mediterranean. Today's Armenia is a fraction of the size of ancient Armenia and the smallest of the former Soviet republics. But for what it lacks in geographic size, it makes up for in the warmth and welcome of its people, the beauty of its landscape, an undeniable history, and the power of a persistent and unwavering culture. Yerevan is Armenia's capital, and Republic Square is the heart of the city.
Wow, I had no idea Yerevan was going to be this beautiful. Now, this is the city center, and to give you an idea of what everything is, over here, that is the History Museum and the National Art Gallery. But look over here, this sort of pinkish building, that's the office of the Prime Minister. And you see the clock tower? They call that Yerevan's Big Ben.
And just like London, this Big Ben isn't the clock, it's the bell. A little trivia. And today's Yerevan is the perfect place to base yourself for exploring in town as well as for day trips and excursions. Yerevan was originally founded as the Fortress Erebuni in 782 BC, and it's been Armenia's capital since 1918. It's artistic, cultural, industrial, and a city of constant growth, with new modern architecture blending with the old. Here, what's new is state-of-the-art, and what's old is cherished and restored. It's an awesome city to explore with discoveries that will constantly surprise you. Highlights include Republic Square with its beautiful architecture and dancing fountains, the popular Matanadaran, the Research Institute and Museum of Ancient Manuscripts, where Armenia's treasured manuscripts are archived, the Yerevan Cascade, a giant stairway that links downtown with the Monument neighborhood, and the brilliant new designer shopping on Northern Avenue. You'll be fascinated with the museums, monuments, and markets. But take time to walk and meet some of the locals who often speak English and who'll happily share the cultural experience of Armenia with you.
I've noticed there's so many outdoor cafes here.
Oh, Armenians, they love sitting out, eating, drinking, enjoying life.
And the flowers, I see them everywhere.
Now, those flowers are very special. We have beautiful flowers all over Armenia.
Everybody's been so nice and friendly here.
Hospitality, #1 agenda in every Armenian's family. They love to receive people, make you feel at home. It's a beautiful country.
It's
what
a
can I
beautiful
tell
city.
you?
Maestro Pelavanian knows Yerevan well. His roots are right here in Armenia. And as an international conductor who performs on a global scale, there's still nothing quite like coming home.
What was it like living here in the 90s?
Wow, 90s was a tough decade. You know, we were in conflict. Armenia was in conflict with its two frontiers. There was an embargo of goods and electricity. We had 2 hours of electricity a day, hardly any hot water. Sometimes we didn't even have bread. So everybody was rationed. And I was giving concerts here in Yerevan in that time. It was tough.
And everyone else in the city had no electricity.
Nobody had electricity. So a lot of people were just like flocking thousands to the concerts because that was the only place they could have heat and light, and they would change their mood. And then obviously we're doing concerts, getting music to them, so they were really happy.
What about your musicians?
And my musicians, yeah, those are tough. That was very emotional because a lot of my musicians were walking to rehearsal from very far away. They had no transport, and I could tell on their face that they were like hungry, problems at home, no food, so I could really tell, you know. But as soon as I began to conduct, they just went, wow, just energetic, and they start giving me all they had and forgot all their problems. And I really think I had some of the best concerts in my whole career.
You probably inspired a lot of musicians and kids to be musicians. So what's it like coming back now?
Well, you know, now after 10 years of absence, I came back, and actually everybody was saying, the young generation, I never met them, but they all knew about me. The older generation was always telling them about George Pelivanian. He was a great conductor. He came, in the tough times, he was here, he motivated us. And so all the young ones are like waiting to meet me.
Oh, the Armenians are very proud of George. They're so proud of him.
I'm proud of them too.
Music is definitely an important part of the Armenian culture.
Well, I'm kind of waiting around for the sun to go down, because if you think this is pretty in the daytime, you should see it at night. The fountains come alive. They go spraying up in the air. There's colors and there's lights and there's all kinds of music. It's choreographed. You'll hear everything from classical to jazz to Frank Sinatra. It's amazing. The first singing fountain in the Soviet Union. Little trivia.
Pride is woven into the fabric of Armenia. But there is a grisly episode in this country's history that's too often unrecognized: the Armenian Genocide.
This is the most important museum in Yerevan, chronicling the history of Armenia leading up to the genocide of 1915, as well as the events that followed.
Under constant threat of foreign domination, historically, Armenia suffered at the hands of many, the most brutal of which was the Ottoman Turks. Thousands of Armenians were massacred in 1894 and 1896, but by far the most horrific massacre took place in 1915 during the First World War, creating hundreds of thousands of refugees who have relocated all over the world.
The Armenian Genocide Museum was built in 1995 on the 80th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide. It was built to raise awareness among international community and to prepare a documentation on the Armenian Genocide.
The Armenian Genocide Memorial Complex, built in 1967, is the official memorial dedicated to the victims of the genocide and a must-visit while in Yerevan.
In 1965, on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the genocide, demonstrations were held in Yerevan, and after these demonstrations, the Soviet government of Armenia permitted to construct the monument with eternal fire.
And still the anthem continues. Here is a flag for you, my brother, that I have sown over the sleepless nights and bathed in my tears. The flag, long an important symbol of Armenia, it's another powerful reminder of what Armenia stands for.
So, do you know what the colors of the Armenian flag mean?
I know 2 out of 3. I know red is for the blood, blue is for the sky, but I don't know what the orange is.
The orange you don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
it's important because it means the apricot, the fruit. Because Armenian people are so hardworking, they put so much effort in cultivating their lands, and we have one of the most tasty fruits and vegetables in the world.
There you go, now we know.
Coming up next, who knew there was amazing shopping in Armenia?
This was the biggest surprise to me.
And some fascinating day trips.
Laura, here, look. First century Aramaic graffiti. Unbelievable.
Here's a tip. The water in Yerevan is clean and safe to drink. However, bottled water is recommended in the countryside as it comes from wells. Welcome back, and don't forget to check out LauraMackenzieTV.com. After 7 decades of Soviet rule, the Republic of Armenia gained independence in 1991. And today's Armenia welcomes visitors with open arms. Of most importance to the foundation on which Armenia was built is its religion. Armenia was the first declared Christian state in the world in 301 AD. Once home to Mount Ararat, where it's believed that Noah's Ark rested after the Great Flood. It's a holy mountain that can still be seen on the horizon from Yerevan. Yerevan is an outstanding city with a rich architectural heritage that's constantly evolving and thriving. Home to magical pomegranates, warm welcomes, and a commitment to culture so strong you can feel it. The capital and largest city in the Republic of Armenia, Yerevan is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Founded in 782 BC and a proud, integral part of an incredible 3,000 years of recorded history. It's modern yet classic, with an eye on the future and a legendary past. Yerevan is one of the leading cities in the mountains of the South Caucasus, the capital of a republic that has connections all over the world. Yerevan is a popular destination for visitors, with historic and religious sites, high-end fashion shopping, and incredible architecture bridging past and present. A very safe and family-friendly city with parks and fountains and sidewalks for leisurely strolls lined with cafes. Armenian coffee is delicious and strong, but its preparation is also a work of art. There you go. And so you pour this into here?
Yes.
Beautiful. Armenian coffee. Armenians have a very strong sense of family, and the locals are just waiting to show off their pride and joy. So, let's see Yerevan. Starting with a major symbol of Christianity is the logical first step here, because religion is a cornerstone in Armenia. And as the first country to adopt Christianity, the practice and the history is built into the very fabric of everyday life. A must-see near the capital of Yerevan is the Mother Cathedral of the entire Armenian Church. It's known as the oldest Christian cathedral in the world, dating back to the 4th century. And according to its name, this is where the only begotten descended. Teach me how to say the name of the cathedral.
Echmiadzin.
Echmiadzin.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I heard it was almost 2,000 years old, is that right?
Right. The first stone was put in 301 AD.
That's
Really
have you been here before?
Yeah, like 15 years ago I was here.
And these are the tombs of the popes?
Right. All the Armenian popes are buried here. And well, what's really special is that one, the latest one. Karakin Gatoigos was a friend of mine.
No.
Yeah, I knew him as a kid. We used to box together in his office.
Oh, how special.
And he was the priest that wed my mother and father.
That's amazing.
So it's a real personal friend.
Stepping within the church is an inspiring, solemn, and holy experience. It's beautiful and of utmost importance to its members and followers of the Christian faith. So do you know what some of this means?
Oh, there's so much stuff on this. This is like ancient. You know, in Armenia they call khachkars, cross, stones cross. There's a symbolism of Christianity. Actually, these things came about right after Armenia became Christian in the 4th century, 301. And everybody began to have one of these because they used it for births. The kings used them when they had victories. When a monastery was built, they used to have this. So here you have a lot of symbols. You have the cross, obviously, you see that.
Wow, so how old are these?
Well, they told me it's 4th century. Wow. Yeah, it's really ancient.
Do you know what the symbols mean?
Yeah, I think this is the grapes, and they mean unity.
Okay.
The pomegranates you see there, that's fertility.
Oh, pomegranate. You know, I was in the market and they said the pomegranate was the symbol of love.
Love, fertility.
In Armenia. Isn't that cool?
Cool.
While you're sightseeing, you'll definitely want to leave time for one of my favorite global pastimes, shopping.
When you see the Key of Yerevan, you know you're at Northern Avenue, the super modern contemporary pedestrian mall that goes from here all the way down to the Opera House, that gray round building at the end. Now, this was the biggest surprise to me. It's so modern. All the international stores are here. We got Polo Ralph Lauren over here, Emporio Armani here. So if you excuse me for a minute, I'm going to go shopping.
Within walking distance of Republic Square and next to the National Gallery and History Museum, Northern Avenue is the place for high-end fashion. Who knew? Exploring Yerevan is an eye-opening experience, and a general understanding of Armenian history will definitely enhance several day trips you can take from Yerevan. Coming up next, just an hour from Yerevan, come face to face with the past.
Unbelievable. In the middle of nature, it's just really quiet.
And discover a medieval monastery with a never-ending complex of churches and caves.
There's a church carved in the mountains. You go inside and you go into the rocks, and that's where they hold ceremony.
Here's a tip. The SAS supermarkets in Yerevan are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, selling food, alcohol, and beauty products, plus have a bank and ATM. Welcome back, and don't forget to check out LauraMackenzieTV.com. There's so much to see and do in the Armenian capital of Yerevan that it's easy to forget that there's even more to explore nearby. The Temple of Garni is about an hour outside the city. A Hellenistic pagan temple built in the 1st century, it was dedicated to the sun god Mithra and designed to face the rising sun in the east. Perfect to the last laid stone, it's one of the most well-known pre-Christian symbols of Armenia. Look close, the temple has some surprising messages from the past, as Maestro Pelevanian discovered.
Laura, you gotta see this, is unbelievable. 1st century Aramaic graffiti, unbelievable. And here you have 18th century Farsi. And then we move over here and you have Armenian ornaments, the pomegranate and the wine leaves. And this is really special because pomegranates and universally is known for eternity because there's 365 seeds in it. So that's the symbol of Armenia here. Over here you see the temple, the sun temple, Mithra. This is where the altar was. This is where he used to dedicate all their ceremonies of the sun god. Unbelievable. Wow. I love coming here. I love bringing my family with me. And personally, I've been coming for over 20 years, doing my concerts in Yerevan with the Philharmonic Hall, the Opera House. Armenia is my roots, so it's really emotional for me. I really feel like home here.
Near the Temple of Garni, you can take the long and winding road to its literal end. Just past the towering cliffs of the Upper Azat Valley, you'll discover a medieval monastery of Gegard, a complex of churches and tombs.
We're in the mountains in this small valley, and what's special about this place, Gegard, it's a monastery. There's a church carved in the mountain. You go inside and you go into the rocks, and that's where they hold ceremony. It's really special.
A World Heritage Site, the complex was founded in the 4th century by Gregory the Illuminator and is said to have once held the holy lance used in the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, thus the name Gegard, which is Armenian for lance or spear.
Geographically, if you look at Armenia, it's right in the middle between Europe and Asia. So all the big civilizations in the world passed through here. The Greeks, the Romans, the Mesopotamians, the Assyrians, you name it, the Persians, everybody went through here. What's special about it is that Armenia was always surrounded by non-Christian countries, and it's always kept its identity, its religion, and its language. It's one of the oldest languages that we have in the world. Armenia was the first state to accept Christianity as their official religion in 301 AD. Christianity is part of the culture, and you see churches, thousands of them, all over the country.
While you're here, make sure to look for the khachkars, the finely carved stone crosses that are symbols of early Christianity in Armenia. For carving on a grander scale, step inside the monastery.
This cave is amazing. If you look up here, you'll see a hole in the roof. It was built from top to bottom, carving these columns and arches as they came down, and it took about 10 to 15 years. Now, the nobility in the area built it as their mausoleum, and behind me here, you can see the tombs on the ground. Well, they were built flat, allowing people to walk on them, and that way the nobility felt that they were still serving the people. But what's really special here are the acoustics. Listen. Ah! Can you imagine a choir in here? Well, they bring choirs in here, and if you look over there, you'll see a hole at the bottom of the wall there. That's so that the music from the choir can funnel into the church. It's amazing.
Coming up next, we take a trip to the top.
Oh, we are so high!
To discover an amazing medieval treasure.
Wait till you see what's next.
Tatev, in Armenian, Tatev means wings. Get me up to God with my wings.
Here's a tip. An easy dram to dollar conversion trick is to cover 3 zeros and double what's left. 10,000 dram equals about $20.
Laura Mackenzie's Traveler. We'll be right back. For more information, call 844-383-0003 or visit ArmeniaTouristBoard.org.
Welcome back, and don't forget to check out LauraMackenzieTV.com. After spending a few days exploring the capital of Yerevan, seeing the sights and taking day trips into the mountains, you can extend your vacation with an excursion to the village of Tatev. And getting there is an adventure in itself.
Wow, it's so beautiful.
The Tatev funicular, also known as the Wings of Tatev, holds the Guinness World Record for the longest non-stop double-track cable car, which means incredible views that will literally take your breath away.
Oh, we are so high!
This amazing aerial tram takes you on the trip of a lifetime, traveling at 23 miles an hour for an unforgettable 10 minutes. At one point, you'll be 1,000 feet above the Voratan River Gorge and its rural village below. When you reach the top, you'll be on the edge of an ancient rocky cliff surrounded by gorgeous green mountains.
Wow, that was one of the most amazing tram rides I have ever taken. And if you thought that was great, wait till you see what's next.
Perched on the edge of the gorge is the medieval monastery of Tatev. Its centuries-old stone block walls stand tall, a necessary feature of the past, but not so formidable to present-day tourist invasions.
This is beautiful. How old is it?
10th century.
And the name of it is?
Tatev. In an Armenian, Tatev means wings. Get me up to God with my wings.
And how'd they find that name? Because we're up on the mountain?
Yeah, no, I guess. No, the real story is that when they were constructing this church, a worker fell down into the canyon. And then he prayed to God. He said, God, give me wings so I can get up. And legend says he came up with wings, so it's Tatev.
Tatev.
Remarkably, the monastery has been standing for more than 1,000 years, surviving invasions, attacks, and earthquakes. Not simply a monastery, this was also the biggest and most advanced university in Armenia during medieval times. In the 14th century, it not only taught math and religion, it contributed to the advancement of philosophy, music, astronomy, and science. As you're exploring, definitely look into the original oil mill, now fully restored as an interactive museum.
So Laura, what's this place about?
I actually know. This is an oil mill. They used to put seeds in this thing right here. They'd get an animal to push the stick around. The stone would go around, it would crush the seeds to make oil. Now, do you know what kind of oil they would make?
Tell us, I have no idea.
Sesame, linseed, and hemp. And what did they use the oil for?
For hummus?
No, not for suntan lotion either. It was for food, for candles, and then when the enemies came, they would boil it and pour it over the wall.
Oh, just like the movies.
Exactly.
The oil mill was built outside the wall of the monastery so that private clients could use it without interrupting the serenity of life in the monastery. After another spectacular tram ride down, driving back to Yerevan was a windy drive through the mountains with a few surprises. A close-up look at life in the countryside. But even out here, there's rush hour at the end of the day. Rules of the road? Pull over, as cows and sheep have the right of way. Sunset with the herd. It's a magical experience. And a glimpse of the real Armenia. Up next, a lot more to see and to taste in Armenia's legendary markets.
So what do you call this bread?
Jingalov hats.
Jingalov huts.
Jingalov hats.
Jingalov huts. Yeah. Jingalov huts. Do you know how to spell it in English letters?
Oh.
No. Okay.
Here's a tip. Many international labels have shops in Yerevan, and most accept credit cards. Your credit card exchange rate is set when the bill is computed, not on the day of sale.
Laura Mackenzie's Traveler. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, and don't forget to check out lauramackenzietv.com. I had no idea that Armenia was this beautiful or this exciting for tourists, and I think it's one of my new favorite places. Every European city has a market, and Yerevan is no exception. I'm no expert in the kitchen, but I love to try authentic local cuisine, and it doesn't get any more real than this. This type of Armenian bread has 37 different herbs and is traditionally made by hand and by a woman. It's said that the preparation is like a mother nurturing a baby, made with love.
Really good. Doesn't need salt, doesn't need cheese.
Similar but better than spanakopita, and while I can't pronounce the name of the bread...
So what do you call this bread?
Jingalov hats.
Jingalov huts.
Jingalov hats.
Jingalov huts.
Yeah.
Jingalov huts. Do you know how to spell it in English letters?
Oh.
No. Okay. Jingalov huts.
However you say it, I definitely enjoyed it. Elsewhere in the bazaar, you can find all things pickled, all things juicy, all things colorful, and definitely local. Food, clothes, souvenirs, and very fresh eggs.
The one thing I love about traveling is going to all the outdoor markets. Yerevan's outdoor market is incredible. This is the Vernissage market. It's open only on the weekends. You want carpets? We got them. You want pottery? It's over here. Antiques, jewelry, clothing. It is so much fun just to wander around. Oh, and don't forget to bargain. Bargain hard.
If you miss the weekend, there's another option indoors.
This market is open every day, and it's where everybody comes for their dried fruits and nuts. It's what Armenia is famous for. For example, I've never seen this before. This is the inside nut of an apricot seed, and it tastes like an almond. And they say it's really good for cancer. Now, normally, dried fruit that we're used to looks like this, but look at these over here. This is so big and juicy. This is a tomato. Not sure what this one is, but I do know that this is watermelon. Isn't that just incredible? And this is regular melon. Apricots, of course. Apples over here. Oh, this is really great. This is what they call Armenian Snickers. Can I try? Yeah?
Grape juice nuts. Grapes.
It's grapes and walnuts. Armenian Snickers. Same consistency as a Snickers. A little chocolate flavor too. Want some? Now this is a persimmon. I always thought persimmons were sour, but this is a really sweet one. It kind of tastes like a fig. And you can taste anything you want. It's really great.
And if you're thinking, that is great, but how do I get it home? Not to worry.
They have them packaged so you can take them home as souvenirs.
Easy, right? Until it's time to pay.
How much is that one?
This assortment, this 1,000, 5,000.
5,000. Okay, so to figure out dram to dollar, it's about 500 dram to the dollar, but the easy way to do it is cover up 3 zeros and then double what's left. So 5,000, cover up 3 zeros, double it'd be about $10. So that's a really nice present for mom.
But there's lots more to see here than just fruit. And remember, labels can be deceiving.
Now, what it says on the jar is not necessarily what's in the jar. This is homemade honey. And he has different flavors over there. Of course, it says green peas on the jar, but I think they just recycle. Well, that's great.
Armenia, Kelbajar. Nagorno-Karabakh.
Oh, from Nagorno-Karabakh.
Karabakh.
Honey is fabulous. And you have different flavors of honey. You know what I think is great? The signs are in Armenian, Russian, and English. That's great. So we have cilantro, turmeric, groats, chickpea, and this is, it says lollipop. It's just crystal sugar. This is incredible. Thank you so much. And if you look up here, you see the baskets. They told me that people come from Russia and other countries, they come here to the market, they take those baskets, they fill them totally up, and then they carry them right on the airplane. The airlines let them walk on with all this dried fruit and spices. It's great.
The variety here is staggering, and my favorite has to be the staple of every Armenian meal, lavash.
The lavash is the traditional bread, and there's a couple of different kinds. This one is just white flour, and it's baked, and you can see it's kind of bumpy. Both of these are from the village of Geghard. This one is the local flour in Geghard, and that was baked there. Geghard is where the monastery is. And look, they are just paper thin, just gorgeous.
And best of all, I got to see how lavash is traditionally made.
Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Traditional Armenian lavash. We are making it in the only way to make it. It's an Armenian oven that's like a tandoori. So she has her dough already. The next step, she puts it on this big pillow-like thing, stretches it out, gets it as thin as she can. I don't know how they do that without putting holes in it. And then watch this. This is the best part, putting it in the oven. Here we go. Slaps it on the side of the oven. And it stays there for what, maybe 20 seconds? And this is how they make traditional Armenian lavash. And trust me, it's delicious. Woo! Hot lavash. Amazing. Bravo!
The only thing better than making lavash is eating it.
Can I try a piece? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look how thin this is. You can see right through it. It is so fresh.
And fresh is what it's all about. No wonder Armenians are masters of hospitality.
Everybody's trying to feed me. He just brought me over some of the local cheese. You just basically put everything in lavash and roll it up like that. It's very good, like that. For you?
Up next, beauty and art meet culture and tradition for a family photo. And a time-honored tradition comes to life right before your eyes.
This is hard. Pull it through.
It's not as easy as it looks.
It's so frustrating. Let me see you do it fast.
And the nightlife in Armenia, from the traditional to the tremendous.
Check out these lights.
Here's a tip. You can email your hotel concierge in advance for restaurant, driver, and tour reservations so you can plan your schedule before you arrive.
Laura Mackenzie's Traveler will be right back. For more information, call 844-383-0003 or visit armeniatouristboard.org.
Welcome back, and don't forget to check out lauramackenzietv.com. Armenian knotted carpets have been made the traditional way since the 4th century, used not only to cover floors, but to insulate walls, cover a doorway, and drape over furniture. Here at Majarian Carpets, these centuries-old traditions are strictly adhered to, especially in the use of natural colors.
So you don't use any chemical colors?
We don't have any chemical colors right here because chemical colors, 40, 50 years when that goes washing, it's come out, it's changed.
Right.
But those,
so this is pomegranate. The nutshell here is what kind of nut?
this one we could make a dark brown, light brown.
Okay, now how do you get that one?
We don't have Armenian indigo, we bring it from India.
Indigo, like you use in blue jeans, it bleeds. How do you keep the colors from bleeding?
Well, we have here processing stone. We put it in the water. If everything died, then we fix the colors and never come out the colors.
So can we see how some of the carpets are made?
Sure.
Okay, great. Now all the knocking you hear in the background, that's them pounding the threads down into the carpet. And these are a couple of different kinds. This is the knotted one, yes?
Knotted rock.
And what's the difference between the flat one?
They don't put a knot, they're just going back and forth.
It's just weaving, no knot, okay?
Yeah, no knot.
So these are cheaper and faster to make?
Faster and cheaper to make.
And this is a different kind, it's a kilum, yeah?
Yeah, kilum.
Are they the same on both sides?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So when this side gets dirty, flip it over. Let's go over and look at them making the carpet. So here they are, hard at work making carpets. How does this work?
When they put the nuts, now they put in the foundation, they hammer in the foundation.
Right.
And they cut in the wool now, the extra wool. And as soon as they do that,
They start making knots.
yes.
How long does it take to, say, make a piece about that big, like a square meter?
Well, a square meter about 1.5, 2 months.
2 months? Wow.
1 meter about 2 months, 1.5 months.
Let's walk up here because I can see that they're doing their knots over here. You told me earlier there's 3 different knots?
Yeah, 3 different Persian knots, Armenian knots. It's a double knot.
This is the pattern?
This is the pattern.
And each one of the squares?
Each square is 1 knot. So they have to look at those knots and they put the wool, exactly which color is where.
It goes so fast.
Well, you see, that's an experience. When they look at one, and they know how many, 3 or 4.
So they just do it by eye? They don't lay the pattern on the carpet first?
They turn it.
That's amazing. Can you teach me how to do a knot?
Sure.
Okay. This is hard. Pull it through and hold it, and then we get the back one. Okay. This one. Okay. She's going.
No.
Pull it through. In my mind, I can see it. I can see it. It's so easy. Okay, let's try it again. I take this one, put it through. Oh, under, okay. And, and like this. Yes? No. I'm gonna have to leave this to the expert. I'm just not a good carpet weaver. Thank you. It's so frustrating. Let me see you do fast. Look how fast she does. So good. It looks so easy. Thank you.
After spending some time shopping for carpets, you can take a break with some traditional food and entertainment. And every Armenian dinner has a first course consisting of lots of small plates, and always with their famous lavash.
Okay, our dolmas have just come off the stove, so how do you eat them?
Please help yourself and take as many as you want.
I'll start with one.
Yeah. Put some matsun over it. Yogurt.
What is matsun?
It's Armenian yogurt.
Very nice.
Meat and rice.
And now for the taste.
We also like it with garlic as well.
Ooh, that would be good. It is really good. Much better than any dolma I've ever had before. So now we eat.
So far, I've seen a lot of history and culture, but now I've found a new way to live it.
A great thing to do when you come to Armenia is to get outfitted in the traditional dress and have your photo taken. And you can do it with these 2 ladies right here. Can you tell me what I'm wearing?
Traditional Armenian clothes, particularly this one, the one that you wear, is from Vaspurakan region, belonging to 17th century, and it is handmade with a special prone. Your headband, it has the tree of life on it.
Taking photos in traditional dress is fun, but it also has a deeper meaning and purpose.
We are cooperating with Terian Cultural Center in a way that people wear the traditional Armenian clothes and get photos, and not only share among different people the traditional Armenian clothings, but also they get the family photos, which is the main important role. The main goal is to keep the heritage that we have gained from generation to generation and to show among youngsters nowadays.
After a long day of history and culture, head on back to Republic Square. This is where it all happens, including an increasingly famous nightlife.
If you think Republic Square is beautiful in the daytime, just look at it at night. I mean, check out these lights. And you hear the music? Don't miss the fountains.
After dark, the fountain really comes alive, choreographed to music ranging from rock to classical for an hour of uninterrupted magic. Afterwards, the night is young with time for another traditional Armenian experience.
You want to have some fun? You have to go out to one of the folkloric shows, and here they really get into it. And surprisingly, the food's really good. Want some bread?
Music, dancing, food, and fun for the whole family. A perfect end to a perfect vacation. Armenia and its gorgeous capital city of Yerevan have earned my respect, my trust, and my admiration. This has been more than a vacation, it's been a discovery of a new friendship.
Well, were you surprised at Armenia? I know I was. I hope you enjoyed seeing it with me and that you'll join me again next time from another terrific place somewhere else around the world. From Yerevan, I'm Laura Mackenzie. Bye-bye.